In the last video, we introduced the NgRx entity library and started using it in our application. In this video, we are going to finish the CRUD for the customer components. So let's start creating the actions in our customer actions TS file. We are going to import the update type from NgRx entity, and we are going to add the necessary actions to the enum type. So let's copy and paste these ones and modify them for the single customer. And let's do the same for the create customer actions. The update customer actions and the delete customer. And now we are going to define the action creators. We are going to copy the ones that we have for load customers, and we start with load customer, and here we are going to add the payload to the constructor, and it's going to be of type number. Then we are going to do the load customer success, and the payload is going to be of type customer. And for the load customer fail action, the payload is going to be a string. Let's copy these ones now for the create customer actions. And here, for the create customer, the payload is going to be of type customer. And for the create customer success, it's going to be the same customer. And for the load customer fail, the same. So let's do the update customer now. And for the update customer success, the payload is going to be of type update. That comes from the entity library. And then the update customer fail. Let's do the delete customer now. And here the payload is going to be of type number. And the delete customer success and the payload is going to be of type number 2. And the delete customer fail which is going to be the same. And then the last thing we need to do is update the action type to make the actions available to the rest of the application. Now we save the file and we have all the actions ready so we can start working on the effects and the reducer. Some of these actions will be taken by an effect and others will be taken by the reducer. Let's go ahead and create the rest of the effects for our application. We are going to copy and paste the load customer effect. And then we are going to modify it for the load customer. And for the service, we are going to use get customer by ID and pass in the action payload, which is going to be the ID. And then we are going to map over the customer that we get from the server. And we are going to dispatch a new action, load customer success, passing the customer, and we dispatch the action for the customer fail. And this here is action, no actions. So let's copy this one for the create customer effect. And here the mapping is going to be different. First, let's change the action type. And here, first we are going to map over the action to get the payload and then we are going to call the service using the create customer method and passing the customer from the action. And once we do that, we are going to take the new customer we create in the server and dispatch a new action passing in the new customer. And of course, the action is going to be create customer success. And we are going to copy and paste this one for the update customer effect. So let's do that quickly, as this is basically the same. We need to pass an object to the update customer success action. With the updated customer ID and the changes, which is the updated customer. So the entity adapter in the reducer can update the store. Let's modify the update customer fail action. And the last effect we're going to create is the delete customer effect. And here, for the service, we are going to pass the customer ID and we are going to modify the map operator and dispatch the delete customer success action passing in the ID. And then we update the delete customer fail action. So let's save it. And now we are going to add the actions that we need in our customer reducer. So let's copy this once. And we are not going to need the initial action because it's going to be taken by the effect. So let's delete those ones. And here we are going to say that we want to add one customer and we are going to add the selected customer ID property that we'll need when we load the customer in the edit customer component. And the load customer fail is going to be the same, but we don't need these properties. Let's add the create customer actions now. And here we're going to add one passing the payload and the state. The create customer fail is going to be the same. Now we are going to copy and paste this for the update customer actions. And here we are going to use the update one method and the rest is going to be the same. And last, we are going to add the delete customer actions. And here we're going to use the remove one method. And now we have the reducer ready. We're going to do one last thing. We're going to add two selectors at the end of the file that we'll need to load the selected customer in the edit component. So let's create a selector to get the current customer ID. And we do that the same way we created the other selectors before. So we get the selected customer ID and that way we can then get the current customer. So here we pass the future state, the current customer ID, and the entity that corresponds to that ID. Now we are going to update the components. Let's begin with the add customer component. So open the file, and here we're going to delete this line, and comment in this line here. We save it. And in the components, we are going to import the reactive form, the store, the customer action, the customer reducer, and the customer model. Then we are going to initialize the customer form with some default values. Then we are going to declare the createCustomer function. We are going to get the values from the form, and we are going to create an action which is going to be createCustomer, and we are going to pass in the new customer. And last, we are going to reset the form. And with this, the createCustomer component is done. So let's close it and open the Customer Edit component. Here again, we are going to delete this line and comment in this one. Let's save it and open the TypeScript file. And here we're going to import the reactive forms, the store, the observable, the customer actions, the reducer, and the model. Then we are going to inject the form in the constructor and the store. And again, we are going to initialize the form and the customer observable using the getCurrentCustomer selector, and we are going to subscribe, passing the value of the current customer to the form. We are going to declare the updateCustomer function, getting the values from the form, and dispatching an action to update the customer, passing in the updated customer from the form. So let's close this file and open the customer list HTML. And here we are going to add the links and delete the previous text. And we are also going to comment in these lines for the error message. So let's close the file and open the customer list component. And here we're going to add an observable for the error and subscribe to the getError selector. And then we are going to define the deleteCustomer function, passing the customer, asking for confirmation, and dispatching a deleteCustomer action with the customer ID. And for the editCustomer function, we are going to dispatch a loadCustomer action with the customer ID. There is one more thing that we need to do, and that is to add the reactive form module to the customer module. So let's do that very quickly. Open the customer module file, and here we are going to import the Angular Forms modules and add them to the imports array. And now let's run the application to make sure that it compiles. And we are going to test it with the console open. So let's go and add a new customer. And then we are going to edit it. And we are going to delete it. So if we open the Redux DevTools, we can see that all the actions are being dispatched and that we have our state with the customers collection shaped using the entity library. And with that, the application is complete. We can now read, create, update, and delete customers in our application and persist the data in the backend server. In the next video, we'll look at another library that we haven't used in this application for the sake of simplicity, but you might need to use in your future projects, and that is the NgRx router store library. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash the like button if you like it, and share this course with any person that might be interested.